So, hello everyone, welcome to today's session. In this session, we have three guests, and one of them is a surprise guest. It wasn't posted earlier. So, we have Akash Behera from IISER Kolkata and Mayank Agrawal from IISER Berhampur. And as a surprise guest, we also have Tejus Rohatgi from IISC. And Akash Bhaiya is a 2024 pass out from IISER Kolkata. And Mayank Bhaiya is 2025 pass out. And similarly, Tejas Bhaiya is a 2025 pass out from IISC Bangalore. So I'll give you a brief introduction about all of them. So Mayank Agrawal, he passed out in 2025 from IISER Berhampur BSMS. So he joined as a junior research fellow in mathematics at IIT Ropar, and he focuses on graph theory and algorithms and much more. And Akash Behera from IISER Kolkata, he is currently a doctoral researcher at Fritz Haber Institute of Max Planck, and he completed his master research in laser physics at Weizmann Institute of Science, Israel, and earned his BSMS in physics from IISER Kolkata in 2024. And Tejus, he's from IISC. He passed out in 2025. He only did BS in IISC. He did in material Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah, Tejas, he is a 2025 pass out from IISC. He did major in materials and he minored in physics. He joined in 2021, graduated in 2025. He came into IISC through KVPI SX, and his research interests lie in energy storage materials and simulations. He pursued a DAD research internship in Humboldt University Berlin, and he is a summer intern at Pratt and Whitney in 2023. He was gold medalist, and he currently plans to pursue MS in Math, Science, and Engineering from Stanford University. So I think it would be much more appropriate for them to introduce themselves more. First, we'll start out with Mayank Bhaiya. It seems there seems to be a problem with it. I think we'll move on. We'll continue with it afterwards. Akash Bhaiya, can you please introduce yourself?
Okay, so am I audible with you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so hi, I'm Akash from 19MS IISER Kolkata, so which basically means 2019-2024 batch of IISER Kolkata. I did my master's in physics at IISER Kolkata, during which I completed my master's thesis at the Weizmann Institute in Israel in laser physics. And currently I'm working with the free electron laser at the Fritz Haber Institute of the Max Planck Society here in Berlin.
Thank you. Next, Akash Bhaiya, can you introduce yourself? Not Akash. Tejas Bhaiya, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so hello everyone. So my name is Tejus. So yeah, I just got my degree yesterday. I've been in IISC since 2021. I just did bachelor's there, and now I'm planning to go to Stanford to pursue masters in material science and engineering. Yeah, my interest, as you told, lies towards subjects like batteries and how do you do simulations and similar stuff. I don't think I have much more to add to that introduction.
Thank you. So for around 10 to 20 minutes, we'll be having some questions posed to the alumni. These will be common questions and the questions that were asked in the Google Forms, which was previously posted. So, so the first question is to Tejus Bhaiya, which is what happens after BS program at IISC? Can students easily transition to an MS or an integrated MS PhD within IISC?
So bachelor's, you can do a master's in continuation with bachelor. There is, it's like BSMS. It's your option to continue, given you pass certain thresholds. Like it's simple, like just passing everything is the thing. But yeah, also you people do go for people can do PhD just after bachelor's. I think I don't know after BSMS, but you can directly go into IC PhD after your bachelor's degree. So I know people who had done bachelor's from IC and are doing PhD at IC itself. So it works. It's not a very tedious process. All you need is, I think, the guide who agrees to host you as a PhD student. And yeah, otherwise, given other options, you have lots of things like there are so many things you can do after graduating from IC. I have seen people going to abroad for PhD. That is the most common. Then people go for even different kinds of degree. Like some of them are going for government exams, UPSC. Some people do CAT, CAT, and yeah, and I am doing masters in engineering, so there are lots of options. You can even go for a job. I forgot to say that, but I think it's not that popular in ISC.
Thank you. And next, we have a question which is how early can a student start doing serious research or work in advanced laboratories? I think the question was meant to ask in which year or at what time. So I think all of you can address this question.
Should I go? I just so I think in the first year, I think you can start doing research projects in the first year itself, but I don't think so it would have much meaning because you don't know anything in the first year. But I think from second year onwards, mainly after you join you decide your major, that's when you can start doing research because you are now in a specific part and you know stuff then. So I think there is no as fixed that you there is no fixed rule you can't do projects until this time. But yeah, it depends on you. If you can handle it, obviously, and professor sees you as fit, you can start doing research.
I think I have a so I've seen. I think it really depends on which stream you're coming from and what you want to do. So, say if you're in experimental sciences, I would say like getting your hands dirty even in the first year really helps. Why? So I work with a 120 million euro laser, and to be honest, I wouldn't let anybody who's just like has had like a year or 2 years of experience just come in and tweak things around when you're you have this such a precious machine. So I think getting experience, especially in experimental sciences, right from the first year, really helps. And this is something when you're a rookie, you learn things in the lab. So it really depends. If you're in experimental sciences, yes, it helps. If you're in theoretical sciences, I would suggest take your time, um, study stuff, enjoy life. It's not just sciences that we do at ISIS. So yeah, I've seen people join labs in first year itself, second year itself, or third year itself. And I think it really depends on what you're doing. So say if you're in chemistry and you start working from the first year itself, then if you work enough and like are really concentrated, then you can easily like expect a paper or something out of your work. But if you are say in theory or computational sciences, then it can be a bit difficult. So yeah, I think it really helps, but it's not mandatory. So I would say in your first year, just enjoy your life. Like you are out of your house for the first time probably, so learn new stuff.
Thank you. And Mayank Bhaiya is not able to answer through mic as he is currently busy. His answer is in the chat. I will read it out. As I'm in mathematics, I will say, keeping in mind you want to do research in math, I think you should first focus on learning the basics first and then thinking about doing any research. Learning the basics is very important if you want to do research seriously later on. So, thank you. Next, we have another question. Are IISers good for pursuing astrophysics? And two, how can we train ourselves and get good university to pursue higher education in astrophysics? And what is the role IISers can play?
Uh, so maybe I think I can answer it.
Yes.
Okay. So I used to hang out with two of my good friends are astrophysics people, not astrophysics. I would say cosmology and astrophysics. And one of them is at Yale right now doing his PhD. The other one is at McGill in Canada. And I think one thing that you need for any kind of astrophysics or cosmology, like I work in lasers, so I think it's don't hold me if I'm wrong. But one of the major things that you need for astrophysics is computational skills, because you most of the time you aren't performing experiments at such extreme conditions. Like you can't simulate uh, the pressure conditions that you have inside the sun here on Earth. So you mostly are working with computational stuff. So first of all, I think this is a general advice that I give to every junior that I come across, be they be interested in physics, biology, or chemistry or whatever, is that learn computational skills. Because whatever you do in your life, computational skills will always help you. Be it experiments, be it like running data analysis after you've done a chemical analysis or something, you'll always need computational stuff. Even bio people, like there exists a very big computational biology sector. So one of the major things that you will need is computational skills. And I think if you're interested and want to learn more about this, I would suggest you visit my friend Surendra Bhattarai's website or contact him. So yeah.
Thank you. And next question is, I got physics at IIT Madras but refused to take a seat and instead I want to take an admission into IISER Pune. Is my decision right? Is it easier to get into an Ivy League if I join IISER? So I think the first question would be answered by someone who is from IISER Pune. And but the second question, is it easier to get into an Ivy League if I join IISER?
I would like to answer the second question. Is will it be easier if you join one institute? I think that really doesn't matter that at that level anymore, because if you consider IISERs, IISC, IITs, they are more or less on the same footing. People know about it, and your degree from that place holds value. What really decides if you want to go abroad to the best institute in the world is depends on you. How do you make use of your time there? It's not about just like, okay, I have a degree from this place, IIT Madras, so I will have better chances. That doesn't work, because I have seen people. Uh, yeah, I have seen people from all the places. Like from I have seen. I am going to Stanford, but I have met people who are going to Stanford from IIT, different IITs as well. I have seen people going to Stanford from different non-IIT, non-Indian institute colleges as well. So I think if you have gotten a chance to study at the Indian institute, uh, I think your decision shouldn't be affected by what is your next step in your career. It should be like what do you want to do there that decides it.
Thank you. We have another question, which is how do students from biology cope up with math in IISC and ISIS? I think both of you can answer this question. And
Uh-huh, maths, I actually, I can, I am, it is a pretty relevant question for me as well. I actually uh, I gave NEET actually. I had mathematics in my 11, 12, but I only studied at school level. I didn't go for like competitive exams because maths is eligibility criteria for IC, I suppose. So I had maths. So yeah, I don't think so. You will be like completely lost there. You can still pick up if you like. Obviously, you need some maths background if you want to go to ISC, and I think that's where the eligibility criteria comes. You have to have maths as a subject in your 11th, 12th. So, but yeah, I don't think so. You can manage, and I think if maths is your weak point, all you need to do is put a little bit more effort. And I think recently the curriculum has been changing a lot, and like if you want to do biology, you don't have to take so many introductory maths courses. You can limit those. So you should like look into that as well.
Akash?
Yeah. So, yeah, yeah. I had a comment on the last question, I think, which was like choosing ISIS or ISC over IIT Madras.
Yes.
And so, okay, I don't know, but I spent like 3 months, 3 years ago now, okay, getting old, in IIT Madras. And I think one of the things that is really different among IITs and ISC ISIS is that IITs are not research institutions. One has to understand that they are engineering institutions from what I understood from my time there. In that, so I was at electrical department, but there isn't like a culture of applying to PhDs or MSY research programs after your degree. There is a culture of setting for placements or learning to code. So if you are in the wrong crowd, it can be really difficult because I know I have good friends in IIT Kanpur and IIT Madras and Kharagpur, and the ones who are like trying to get into academia, usually feel quite lost. So I think if you plan to go into academia or want to do research, then I think ISS and ISC are a better choice over IITs just because you have the crowd there. It's just a crowd difference. So yeah.
Also, the question about bio students coping up with math.
Okay, this is something that they have to work on. I mean, this is unfortunate. Like, I don't know, back in our time in 2019, this was the case that everybody had to study all the subjects in the first year, and it it is difficult for biology students to understand mathematics, especially the Baki mathematics that we have in ISIS. You have to prove stuff, things like that. It's not numericals, so it can really get tough. But unfortunately, that's how it is, and people have to cope with it. But in the first year, one of the good things is they won't ask you things that are out of the book. Well, usually that was the case in IISER Kolkata. So they teach you some theorems and they ask questions from that theorems. So yeah, I would say focus on what's being taught in your class in the first year. Yeah, people usually in the first year I don't know. It's been a common trend that one of the hardest subjects is mathematics, but if you focus, you will get through. But yeah, it's one of the biggest hurdles there.
So the next question is IISER Kolkata specific. How strict is IISER Kolkata for doing masters abroad? Which IISER has the most opportunities for pursuing masters abroad? I think it meant that
Okay,
master exchange program.
okay. So ISIS have this MOU with DAD, not DAD, Max Planck Society. They used to have one with Dad as well, but now, thanks to some geopolitical situations, it's been scrapped. But IISER still have the Max Planck IISER Masters Exchange program running. And in fact, last summer, I guess, we had some interns from IISER coming into Berlin, and the seniors who are here in Berlin from IISER. So we have a community of all IISER alumni here in Berlin. They help them out, and yeah, so that thing's running still. So that's for all IISERs. That's for Pan IISER. But at IISER Kolkata specifically, you are allowed. Or it was the case back when I was applying for my master's program in 2023, 2 years ago. So for physics, it was allowed, given that you don't have any backs, and second, that you have a hosting contract with your host in the university abroad, and a corresponding supervisor at IISER Kolkata. So what happens is, when you do your master's research abroad, you basically have a supervisor, a corresponding supervisor at IISER Kolkata, who says, okay, this thesis complies with the IISER guidelines, and then you have a supervisor outside who grades your research work. So this is how it works. So you have to have agreement from both parties, like the professor at IISER and the professor abroad, to host you and coordinate your grading between them. And then you also have to convince the academic cell, which can be a steep battle, or was a steep battle for us, to let you go, give you the no objection certificate, which is important to get a visa. So I think it really depends, but I think now that we have the new education policy 2024, it might just not be there, because from what I've heard from my juniors who just passed out this year, that since we have the new education policy, you either complete your BS and take BS exit from IISER and do a 2-year MSc abroad, or you just do your BSMS at IISER. And apparently it's no longer, it's no longer as straightforward as it used to be to do your MS thesis abroad and get the degree from IISER Kolkata. So I'm not sure, and this is something that's quite dynamic. This keeps changing, so your guess is as good as mine.
Thank you. Also, Tejus, does IISC also have an exchange program like this?
I'm not sure, because for my major, actually, when for my case, I had to pursue a compulsory course in the second last semester. I mean, in the beginning of the final year. So we weren't allowed to do any such thing. But yeah, one of my friends in biology, he had gone to Canada to pursue a part of his thesis through MyTax. But I think MyTax is also, I think, closed for now. But yeah, I think for my case, for ICS especially, I don't think so. There's any specific it would be a very specific program for like particular branch of a specific field. So yeah, I don't think there is a general joint program in ISC for supporting masters thesis abroad. But obviously,
I
you
think
can look into
let
it.
me tell you
I
how
don't
this
have any.
works. Like, okay, there are programs where you apply to for getting a MS thesis position abroad.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you're
Okay.
from IISER or IISC, there is an easier way. And let me tell you what. So when I was in
Yeah.
Weizmann Institute, I actually met 2 of your seniors from IISC. I still have them, I'm good friends.
Yeah. I have seen.
And one of the best ways, if you're from IISER or IISC, is just tell your professors, I want to go somewhere, I want to do something else. And usually the professors at IISC or IISER, they have enough contacts that they will be like, okay, you want to go there, I'll contact someone, and this is how it goes.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank you. So, Mayank Bhaiya is answering the question that was posed previously. Yes, so basically for math students, learning bio is hard as I think they are afraid of remembering a lot of things. But the faculty in ISIS and IISC make it so that the courses are accessible to you even if you didn't have that subject in your 12th standard. You should just focus on your weaker subject from the first sem itself and you'll be good to go. And another question, the question about the exchange program. IISER Berhampur doesn't have any exchange program like this. So next, so the questions that are being posed in chat box right now. After this, we'll be having a Q&A session in which you can ask questions directly. At that time, you can ask them. For now, we'll be asking the ones in Google Forms. Uh, I want to know about career prospects after doing physics major. For now, I only have idea related to academia prospects, but I also want to have an idea about it in industry levels like R&D departments of various industries and what are some famous industries out there for it. I think Akash Bhaiya can answer it as you are also a physics major.
So, okay, yeah, so it really depends. But if you're a computational physicist or a theoretical physicist or an experimentalist. So I did laser physics, and after completing my master's, I had job offers from research industry in Europe and Israel, but I didn't take them because I wanted to do a PhD. So say if you're doing laser physics, there are tons of companies like ASML, Intel. There's also like defense industry, medical industry that you can apply for. So I mean, it's hard to explain, but there are tons of industry that hire people from basic research. If you're a computational physicist, it's rather straightforward. Like my roommate from IISER Kolkata, he recently got an offer from Amazon Quantum because he's computational physicist, which he declined. But yeah, so if you're a computational guy, it's straight. You can go to any company that's possible, any software company. If you're an experimentalist, then you can go to these manufacturing companies, and you can go to R&D companies like. So we have what's called. Have you heard about Siemens, which is like a very big German manufacturer? So they hire a lot of physicists. We have BAS, which has a lot of chemists and chemical physicists. You can also go to consulting. So I know a senior. They did the BSMS in physics and then did the PhD here in Netherlands, Utrecht, and then they moved on to consulting. So you can also do that. Yeah, there are tons of opportunities. So R&D wise, I would say, yeah, we have like lots of R&D sector here in Europe and the States. The one thing that is problematic in the States is if you do your PhD from the States, you still need a hosting agreement for a company, which can be problematic. That's not the case here in Europe. But yeah, there are tons of R&D related industries in both Europe and US, and also in Singapore. So I know seniors who work in ASML, and they did their master's and PhD in experimental physics, so you can get a job. I mean, this is something that as you move on, you will get to learn more, because when you go to the labs and conferences, you meet people, you meet these industry folks, you make connections, you meet your seniors who are already working in companies or have their own startups. So you get to know people would be useful to contact applying for a job. So don't worry about it. I think that was quite fragmented, but I hope I answered the question.
Thank you. That was insightful. And this time we have question related to campus. So what are some hidden features of your campuses which others do not know? Let's start from IISC.
Okay, like hidden parts of the campus.
which others don't know, like others and in insiders info.
I mean, I can't like pinpoint anything. Like if you come with me to campus, I can show you places, and maybe those places some people don't know. Like these are mostly like rooftops of few departments, like, and like these are some buildings that I usually find place. They're empty at night. You can just go and chill around there. You can do your work in like quiet in the quiet place. Yeah, I think my favorite would be, I don't think so. It's now, it's just not the case now, but it was this new building, interdisciplinary research department. It was a big building that had just been constructed. I think last year it was constructing. So during that time, yeah, I used to apply for my admi. I used to write a lot of applications for this masters at programs. But so I used to go there at night, and like I used to just spend the night there. There were lots of like office kind of places where you could just sit and like do your work. No one will be there. It's like in the fourth or fifth floor of the building. Yeah, I think that was, if I would say, my hidden place.
Oh, thank you. And from Mayank Bhaiya, on our campus, it is the beach. I don't think anything else is hidden from other people or anything different. So, is it like beach directly only for campus, or is it something near it? You can answer it in the chat. We'll move on to Akash Bhaiya. Can you give the same thing for Kolkata? Hidden places, insider info.
It's the Pool Road. Or used to be back when 2 years ago I used to live there. It's the Pool Road, IISER Kolkata. People who are from IISER Kolkata or will join IISER Kolkata and will know why.
Okay, thank you.
It's quite isolated.
Uh, so one more question, one last question for IISC, which is how easy, not how easy, like after doing BS in a specific major, can you change your interest and pursue in another stream or in another branch?
I don't think so. There is a policy by the official office of like undergraduate office for like changing your stream from when what you do BS, but and then you do masters in. But I think, yeah, people do change their majors when they are in bachelor's. If you like first semester of your major, you don't didn't like when change your stream, that can happen. But for case of going from if you're doing materials now you want to do in bachelor's and now you want to do physics MS from IISc, I think that is a different case because there are requirements obviously for a major for doing a master's and that you have to show in a way. But to do that, you can obviously go for like the competitive exams are there, like for the graduate programs in IISc. Or obviously, you can go abroad to do like specialize in your specific field. Because yeah, I mean, basically want to do masters because IC is research institute and like yeah I want to do learn a bit more of engineering sides. That's why I chose the program where I'm going in Stanford because I'm trying to go from a research oriented field to a engineering field. So I think yeah, I don't think so there is a option to change your stream when going from BS to MS. Like it will be a tedious process if it exists.
Thank you. There is another question. This will be the last. So the question is, what are the initiatives by the campus or the student clubs there are in terms of industrial paths?
In terms of industrial,
Industrial path, like let's say someone wants to go into industry rather than a research.
yeah, there are options there. Obviously, we have our placement cell, which brings in a lot of companies. There are lots of companies coming to ISC, and many of them don't have this eligibility criteria. Anyone can apply from different streams. All you need to show you have some experience or some like proof that you know about the field that you're going to work in. And Yeah, I don't. But the thing I think is, most of the students at doing bachelor's at IISC aren't that oriented towards this industry specific things. The ones who are the most, I think, come from my major materials. Uh, there are several several times professors, or we have our own undergraduate group. They post some internship like drives there. Some companies come here specifically to get like uh, undergraduate students, and there are many times you can see in materials people, because I did it myself. I did an internship in Pratt and Whitney in my I think it was third year, second year actually. So what happened was that the interview, like the proposal came from the Pratt and Whitney itself. One of the professors posted it and sent us the applications, and yeah, that happens usually. But I think it's rare compared to what would happen in an IIT if you are specifically just focused towards getting a good job. Uh, so my concluding note would be that if you want to explore stuff and you want to have freedom in what you do, IST is one of the best places you can go for, because you can, I think, you get freedom in any, you get freedom to choose what you study, choose what you do after it, choose what you do within. And yeah, that is the good thing about IC, and I think that is what its core structure that separates it from the other institutes in India.
So thank you, Bhaiya, for your time and giving us these insightful answers. Thank you very much.
So yeah, I think I have to leave. I have a thing now. If anyone wants to ask me anything, you can search my name in LinkedIn and in Instagram, anywhere. I will. It's just my name. You can just note it down. You can ask me, drop me a message. I'll answer you.
If anyone has any question, you can do
Yeah,
as
I
well.
can. Yeah, for 2 minutes I can take questions.
Thank you. And next, if there are any questions, just post in the chat box and others will be answering it. So previously there was a question, is going abroad funded by the government? Akash bhai, can you answer this question? Is going abroad funded by government?
Question is which government?
Aisha,
That's the
you
point.
have the
Just
question.
which any government. Yeah. Is it like the Indian government or the country that you're going to?
If you have any questions, just raise the hands. We'll unmute you and you can answer it directly. You can question directly. So there is another question which was, what is the disadvantage between BSMS over BSc MSc?
Like BSMS at IISER versus BSc MSc at universities, because I guess it's just a terminology. But I think what they meant is doing BSc MSc at IISER versus in state universities. Then I would say it's just the research opportunities and contacts that you get at IISER and the funding. Yeah.
So the question about funding, is it by the government or the institute itself?
Okay, funding while you are at IISER.
Yes.
Okay. So it depends. Some of the internships or some of the positions are funded by the institute or directly through the central government. So things like PMRF are funded by Department of Science and Technology. Then there are also other funding agencies. There are some joint grants. So yeah, funding comes through a lot of ways. But if you're a student, it doesn't bother you because getting funding is the job of the professor, not your job. Yeah.
Internship opportunities given by IISER Kolkata to you in your BSMS. So what he's trying to ask is, what did the IISER Kolkata provide you specifically that you couldn't get outside?
I think it's the recommendation letters, and also I would say the contacts. Because say if you are someplace else and you send your request to get a position someplace, and there's no one to back it up, no one that the professor outside knows. Okay, I know this guy. Then it's kind of problematic, right? So it's the letters of recommendation that ISS give you, and there isn't any kind of like a placement thing going on for internships. Professors forward you the mails that they get for internship requests, but they happen every now and then. So yeah, I think it's if you are at ISS, one has to stop asking the question, what can the institute give me, and like start searching on their own. I mean, this is how it works in research generally. Yeah.
Thank you. And if any of you have any more questions, you can raise your hand and ask them directly. Aisha is asking, can you tell how you chose your the majors you have chosen right now? A little short story.
Okay, so it was quite funny because when I joined ISIS, I wanted to do mathematics. I actually wanted to be in ISIs, but couldn't get ISI. Unfortunately, joined ISIS. Then in the first year, I realized I'm probably not suited doing mathematics. So I thought, okay, but I still was insistent on it. Okay, I'll take mathematics. And in the second year, since like I said, it's pretty multidisciplinary, I took physics, earth sciences, and mathematics as pre-majors. So we used to have this pre-major system in IISER Kolkata. So you do all subjects in first year, then you pick three subjects as pre-majors in your second year, and I chose physics and mathematics and earth sciences, PME, and in the second year, I realized, I love to do mathematics. I'm not suited to do it. So that's the thing. Like sometimes you want to do some stuff, but at the end you find out probably it's not what you wanted to do. Because I mean, when you join ISIS, you're basically pass out, 12th pass outs, and you don't know a lot of stuff, especially like this research kind of stuff. So um, yeah, that was a realization for me, and I thought, okay, I'll join physics. And then when I joined physics, I was kind of lost. Okay, what do I want to do here? Do I want to do theoretical physics, or do I want to do experiments? And then I found back my love for doing optics, because I don't know how many of you had like small lasers when you were kids, but like we had this demonstration once by the optical group, and I thought, okay, uh, I can try doing optics, and then decided to go into optics and laser physics. So yeah, I think it's a evolution. It's not like what you research is not what you hope to be. It's just what happens. I mean, I've seen people write grants saying we are gonna do A, but they end up doing D or B or C. So it's not. I mean, it's exploration, right? At the end of the day, you don't know where you are going. It's uncharted territory. So yeah.
Aisha has two questions specifically. Is joining IISER and going for research a good option for financially struggling families? Since even though the returns in future might be good abroad, but the initial investments are too much. I want to support my family after my studies as soon as possible, but I've heard that stipend in India is not sufficient. If I had to sustain only myself, I wouldn't have thought over so much about my passion.
I mean, this is a reality. I know my friends who also come from weaker backgrounds, weaker financial backgrounds. But yeah, this was kind of troublesome for them to like get the upfront investment of moving abroad. So I know a friend of mine. He comes. Both of his parents are laborers, day laborers, and at the end we all helped them to uh, to get his visa fees, cover his visa fees, moving costs. But yeah, I think this is something when you get to that stage that you get a good position abroad, then it's really not that difficult because even if you say like take out a loan of say 3,000 euros or something, which would be like three lakh rupees, then you can easily pay this back in like 2 months. So at that point, yeah, you'll have to consider this upfront costs. But then again, even if you do say BTech from an IIT, you still have this upfront cost because I know my friends, they move to new cities and the upfront cost of moving, setting into a new place, renting an apartment, they, those all have to be borne by the candidate. So at the end of the day, it's not much different from joining a company or something. Yeah, it's just that since you're in India and it's a weaker currency in India, you would have to, it would be much more difficult for you to get these upfront costs. But yeah, that's it. And I think at that point you can just like, so for my batch, we had this good thing that we pooled our money and gave it to folks, like lended it to folks who um, needed it for the upfront costs, and that's how we helped them. And at the end of the day, nobody had to take out a loan. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how this will work out for your batch if you join an IISER. So yeah, that's there. And coming to stipends in India, it's an unfortunate reality, but let's face it, it's not that great. If you're a general PhD student, I think it's around uh, 35,000 something. So yeah, you can't support your family with that. So yeah, this is troublesome. But then you can try applying for a Prime Minister Research Fellowship, which is like PMRF, and you can get that. Like I've seen people get good positions abroad, but then decide to stick to IISER because they get PMRF and they get to work in the professor of their choice. So yeah, I mean, anything is possible, but yeah, this financial burden will always be there in academia. It's unfortunate, but that's how it works.
So another question, is there any rules that fixed number of students can choose a particular subject as a major?
Yes. So usually at IISER Kolkata, what happens is there are say 60 seats for physics, and usually around 80 folks apply. And then there has to be a cutoff for this. And they can't increase the number of seats because the number of seats is directly proportional to the number of professors there are in the department. Because the number of seats allocated to a particular major is based on how many professors there are there in that department, and on the assumption that all of these students apply for a master's in the department among all the professors. And that's why they can't increase the number of seats and allow everyone to join the major they wish to join. So yeah, this is a fact. So for physics and biology, there is usually a cutoff. But yeah, it's not that difficult to clear this cutoff if you paid attention in your first and second years in those subjects. Yeah.
So another question is, situation of research field is not that much great in India. That's why we try to get PhD abroad. But can you please enlighten us? telling what major differences you felt between India and abroad in terms of research.
That's a very good question. That's a very good question. First thing is money. Like, so I was, when I was at the Weizmann Institute, I ran out of a laser. Like I was working with a laser and I didn't have a particular laser system and I had to, you know, improvise in typical Indian style. Then I told my professor, okay, I can do this, but you know, it would be good to have that. It would save like, I don't know, half a month out of my thesis. And he was like, okay, you should have told me earlier. And then he just orders a new laser. 2 weeks later, the laser arrives from Switzerland, and I was unboxing it, and then I saw the invoice, and there it just said $150,000, and I was like, okay, that's expensive. By Indian standards, yes, that's expensive, but by standards abroad, it's not. Like here, the main concern as a researcher is like not money, but reducing the time it takes to do stuff. So I was in this situation where we didn't have any equipment because somebody had borrowed it. And then my professor, I told my professor that, okay, this is an issue. And he just said, okay, just order a new one. We don't care. Like we can spend 10,000 euros. It just doesn't matter, but time is more important. And I think that's the difference. Funding here in Europe and in the other parts of the world is amazing. And it's also a thing about culture. So I don't know how true this is would be in the States. It's not very true in the States right now. I know my friends who are in the States and they are having trouble with the funding, especially due to some political scenario there in the States. But at least in the European Union, the funding for like the salaries for the doctoral students is good. Uh, the work-life balance is good, so you nobody can just tell you, okay, you have to work on a Saturday or a Sunday. Like if it says 40 hours a week, that's 40 hours a week, no more, no less. That basically means a lot of free time, so you can do lots of stuff. There is also like paid trips every now and then across Europe, so that's there. And above all, there is no toxic culture. I mean, it's there. It's quite rare. So your supervisors are usually not that bossy. It's not a hierarchical system like we have in India. So in India, say if I am in a conference, I am not expected to go and talk up to the director of a place. Okay, that hierarchy doesn't exist at IISER because I used to talk with our director late at night, even like 2 a.m. But the IISERs are an exception for that regard. But usually, especially in IITs, there is a strict hierarchy of control, and this hierarchy really hinders research and innovation because if you are new and you have some idea, you just can't tell them because that'll hurt their ego. So that's there, and yeah, in general, it's quite cooperative here and quite nice. Like people value you as an individual, as a researcher, even in the society. So that aspect is there. You get compensated well. So yeah, life's good. Yeah, compared to India, like in India, people usually take the doctoral students as I don't know workhorses, next to unemployed or something. So yeah, it's a huge difference here.
Thank you. That was really eye-opening. Next, Ayesha was asking regards to the previous question about financial struggle. If I have an option to take engineering right now versus I have an opportunity for research, what would a good option be if there is a financial issue?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, one has to consider the long-term aspects. What you want to do in the long term. Like, okay, financially, you will be doing good in both. Um, I mean, engineering, I don't know. Right now, it's quite saturated, to be honest. I know my friends who did their BTechs from the top IITs, Kharagpur, Hyderabad, and Bombay, and they are really unsatisfied with the salary that they're getting and the work they have to put in. So it really depends on how things evolve, but there is like this guarantee that okay, if you do BTech, you get some job and some mediocre enough salary afterwards, which is good, which is not the case in research. And so yeah, any possible number of stuff can go wrong and might not end up where you wish to be. So yeah, it's a really hard question, and I can definitely understand where this question is coming from. And but yeah, I mean, I have no particular answer to it as such. Because at the end of the day, it's your life, and you have to be the one to call the shots. But yeah, as a senior, all I can say is at the end of the day, monetarily, both science and engineering won't be like much difficult, much different financially, because from, until and unless you are from like the top branch of a top college and among the toppers of your batch, it's really hard to get a extremely good salary package at IITs. And I know this because I have friends at the top branches at IIT Bombay, KGP, and Kanpur and Hyderabad, and it's not that easy just because there are tons of folks out there. And thanks to the recent layoffs, job market's quite uncertain. So that's there even if you do an engineering. So I don't think in the long run, financially or stability wise, it would be any different from doing research. In doing research, there is one advantage. I don't know if it's an advantage or not. If you want to move abroad and send remittances home, then it's kind of easy financially to do that. Like say if you send like 300 or 400 euros, which is not a lot by European standards, it's a lot of money in India. It's like 30,000-40,000 per month. So yeah, that's there. But at the end of the day, you have to be the one to call the shots. Yeah.
Yeah, this will be the last question. After this, the meeting will be ending. Can't someone or any group
Okay.
in India take the what were you saying?
Okay. No. Because yeah, this would be great because I have to leave in like 10-ish minutes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
That's why we are ending the meeting. So, can someone or any group in India take the initiative to increase research opportunities and value in India?
Can you please repeat your question? Like a private group or
It's
something
mentioned in
else?
the chat box. Mm,
Okay. Again, I can check.
yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't know. I come to Europe. I went to Israel and I look like their societies are centered around research. Like people ask me, are there any R&D opportunities for PhD holders? And I say, if you live in Europe, there is tons of opportunity for like it's hard to state. Like here, the whole society is based on this higher order research stuff. Like you see buildings like Siemens, of BMW, of Bath, all these big companies, they all need researchers. And same in Israel. They're like tiny countries, but like highly educated population. I don't see that in India, unfortunately. Like it's just doesn't exist that, and I don't know how this is going to change. That's unfortunate, but it's true. And yeah, I have no idea to be honest. And it's like a lot that needs to be built. Like I see my Chinese colleagues, I have lots of Chinese friends. For them, it's straightforward. Like they do a PhD here, then they go back to China. They either join industry or get a position, and China funds their research sector a lot. That's why they are ahead of in technology in most terms. Like I can give you an example. So I work on just like Tejas. In fact, I work on battery materials here in the European Union funded projects, and they were complaining last week that China's just putting in a lot of money, and that's why they are so ahead. And they value it. I don't know, without valuing something, how we can move forward. Like India doesn't value research. Uh, that's how it seems to me. And the funding scenario wise, it's quite apparent. Unfortunate if you think about it. Yeah.
Thank you, Bhaiya. And today we'll be wrapping up our session. And thank you so much for giving and being patient with all our questions and giving answers to them. And we'll be ending the meeting. So if you have any questions, you can get into contact with them. You can just search up their names in LinkedIn and you can get into contact. If you have any questions, you can ask directly to them. For today, we'll be wrapping up the meeting. Thank you so much once again, Bhaiya.
Sorry, was that a question?
No. It's just ending time. We just get thank you. I was just thanking
Hi,
you.
Karthik, was that a question?
No. Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Yeah, your voice was breaking.
Sorry. I think that my
Yeah.
internet was a bit bad. So I
Okay.
was just
Yeah, thanks for having me.
thank you, Bhaiya.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for having me, and all the best to all of you. Whatever you do, remember to enjoy. Yeah, goodbye.